Welcome to AGORACOM CEO Interviews, a show in which we take the time to speak to small cap executives about events in their companies. Today we've got an extra special event. We've got two top executives from the Ring of Fire. I'm talking about Frank Smeenk, he's President and CEO of KWG Resources, and I'm talking about Richard Nemis, President and CEO of Bold Ventures. What's even more exciting is the fact that I'm sitting in Montreal and the gents are sitting at Hogan's Inn in King City on Friday afternoon. But we thought it was that important to get out to everybody and talk about what's up. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Good to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, George.
Frank, we'll start with you. Drilling is underway on Black Horse. How's it going? What are we hoping to achieve with this specific program?
Well, it's going good, notwithstanding that it's very cold, which delayed things a little bit. It took a while to get the drills prepared. In particular, the two drills, there's three drills in total, which was one of the opportunities for this program. Two of them are doing very deep holes under the ones we drilled last year. So one of those just started a couple of days ago. Those deep holes are designed to increase the inferred resource of the Black Horse, to demonstrate the down dip extension of that very large ore body, and in aid of an underground mine plan. Then the other is the hole we started with, or the target we started with, is called C6. It was one that we had wanted to drill last year, but ran out of time on. And so it is now, the third hole is going into it, and we've confirmed that it is indeed part of the ultramafic intrusion that has the chromite horizon, and it appears as though it also has part of the J6, the triple J envelope, which is has gold potential.
And Richard, this is no small program. We're talking about a couple of $1 million being invested here by KWG in order to further earn their interest. Talk to me about not only the size of the drill program, but at the same time, the upside potential of Black Horse and what's going on up there in the Ring of Fire.
Well, George, let's put it this way. The Black Horse is just one of many, many things that are potentially important in the Ring of Fire. Black Horse is a chromite horizon. However, as we all know, there are a number of possibilities in the ring. The ring is something very, very special, and it's for that reason that we're still there and still drilling. We haven't lost sight of the fact that the opportunities that are presented by drilling in the Ring of Fire. The Ring of Fire is going to be a very, very important economic benefit to Ontario and to Canada. So we're still there, and we're still drilling, and I still am a very large supporter and shareholder in the Ring of Fire.
Yeah, I got to admit, from your Noront days, you know, when we were working together, you're 100% dedicated to this. You've never wavered. And what does that say about the fact that there are ups and downs as you try and get projects like this done, but you don't get discouraged because this is such a mass scale that you just have to stick with it?
I've been in this business a long time, George, and I've seen mines being developed, and I haven't yet to find one that hasn't had hiccups along the road, some more than others. The fact that we're having the type of hiccups we're having in the Ring of Fire only shows you how important it really is. These are major hiccups that will be resolved, and it will be developed, and it will take time. But it's big enough, and more importantly, economically sound, that the government, the natives, the people of Ontario should be patient. Things will work out. This thing is important, George. It's big, it's important, and it's important for Canada.
Frank, when you talk about the Ring of Fire, you know, a lot of people talk about projects and mine lives of 5, 10 years, maybe a couple of decades. You speak about the Ring of Fire in terms of hundreds of years.
Well, a typical discovery, mineral discovery is, 10, 15, 20 years for bigger ones. And the whole approach is mine it out and then rehabilitate it. I think it's quite rare. It's only because Canada is relatively unexplored. It's quite rare that you find something that has this tremendous size, and so it requires a different approach. I'm a lawyer, but I'm told by the people in our sciences, including Dr. Jim Franklin and Dr. Jim Mungle, the indications are from the geophysics and from the geology that we have, the geography that we have, that there's a century, perhaps 2 centuries of economic mineralization there. So that kind of indicates both the province and the government of Canada should maybe take a closer look at a little bit different approach here.
That's going to be one hell of a deferred capital gain for shareholders of KWG, passing these shares from generation to generation.
It could be a lot of dividends, yeah.
It's no secret that, given the size of the Ring of Fire, that the government's going to have to be involved, a couple levels of government, hopefully. The one we want to talk about today is the Ontario provincial government, the Liberal Party, and the Development Corporation that they announced. Where are they in terms of progress with the Development Corporation, and where are you in terms of your communication and making sure that in fact it's just not an empty body for platitudes, but in fact it's going to achieve and execute what it's supposed to do?
I can tell you my experience. I think there's similar experiences amongst the other companies up there, Noront and Cliffs. In our case, we got a letter the night before from Minister Gravel saying that he planned to make this announcement on the following day, which was November the 9th. Since that time, we've met with people from his ministry and the Ring of Fire Secretariat and Infrastructure Ontario on a couple of occasions. We've exchanged ideas and documents at some length. Also, last week I had an opportunity to meet again with Minister Gravel to share with him some of our, at his request, mind you, share with him some of our ideas for how this might be done or what needs to be kept in mind. And he was a little bit late for our meeting because he'd just come from a cabinet meeting, and he was able to share with us that, in fact, at that, he had been given marching orders, if you will, to go ahead and create the Development Corporation, engage a consultant, corporate governance consultant, to make sure that there's no misadventure. That provided me with the opportunity to suggest to the minister that he ask those people and himself and his staff consider again the opportunity to utilize the Ontario Northland Railroad as the vehicle to do this, perhaps become the Development Corporation. So they are very focused on it. He talked in terms of a timeline, which is a very near horizon. I think it's a good idea, and I think they're fully engaged.
The most important question probably in all of this is, and I'll leave this open to either one of you, is money. So in these conversations with the government and various ministers, do we have a sense yet of whether the money will come from the province solely, will it be shared with the federal government? Do we have any sense of the sharing and what kind of numbers we're talking about that potentially could be coming out of either side?
There's certainly a commitment. I think in terms of the province, the development of infrastructure, roads in particular, is a provincial jurisdiction. So they have in mind that the Development Corporation will need some initial equity financing, perhaps, but it's also in their contemplation that it can access capital in the capital markets on its own 2 feet, if you will, to its own account. Capital term money that's equal to the life of these assets up there, and that is a very useful function for the Development Corporation.
Richard, last question for you, just going back to the drill program. It's a $2 million drill program, so it's obviously it's going to be pretty big and pretty intricate. What kind of timeline are we looking at? Do you have a sense of timeline how long the program will take place, and when you might be wrapping up and start sending things off to labs, and just to give everyone at home maybe a rough, I know it can't be precise, especially when you got weather and all these things playing, but can you give everyone at home a sense of timing?
Yeah, sure, George. And weather does have a major input here. The drilling will continue here for at least 6 to 8 weeks, and it'll be hole by hole. It's not definitive how many holes. It'll basically be hole to hole. You can expect drilling to be complete in 60 to 90 days, perhaps, and thereafter look to another 60 to 90 days or more for assay results. So expect some definitive answers on this current program early spring, and we can plan going forward from there.
Yeah, looks like about mid-spring if I'm doing the math correctly. Yeah, I appreciate that. And you said something interesting off air when we were speaking earlier. I was talking about the weather and, humans are humans. How do we handle this? But you had a pretty funny answer as to how these drillers are going to handle it.
Well, weather, is a major factor, especially where we're drilling. We're looking at minus 30s to minus 50s, and things freeze. Pumps freeze, water lines freeze. These drills work on water. You've got to have lines. Those lines freeze, the pumps freeze, the drill bits freeze, the drills freeze, and certainly the human factor, people freeze as well. But as I said, we're Canadian.
That's the line. We're Canadians.
Canadian, and we're winter. We are winter.
Nobody soft is going to be handling this. And I think we'll leave it on that great note. We are Canadians. We got a generational, multiple generational project that you guys are at the forefront of. I appreciate both of you. I want to thank both of you coming on here and sharing some time and information with everybody at home.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
You've been watching Frank Smeenk. He's President and CEO of KWG Resources, and Richard Nemis, President and CEO of Bold Ventures. KWG trades on the stock symbol KWG. Bold Ventures, BOL, both on the TSX Venture Exchange. Make sure you get to their websites to stay up to date, and always get to AGORACOM, where you can discuss these things with other shareholders, stay up to date, and look for future information. Until then, have a great day, everybody. Have a great weekend. Gentlemen, talk to you soon.
See you, George.